hit a long way. Out on the run is Liriano, and he makes the catch! An amazing catch! Sails the ball back to first base, and then...
Hi, I'm Prem Panicker.
Hi, and I'm Faisal Sharif, and welcome to another exciting episode of Sport and Pastime. And we must start with the WPL final. Prem, what an amazing final it was, and of course, worthy winners Mumbai Indians, but feel a touch sad for the Delhi team. Third time unlucky.
Yeah, I feel sad for Delhi, particularly somebody like Meg Lanning, who takes a lot of pride in what she does. But I thought, in a sense, I thought Delhi Capitals contributed to the result. Um, I mean, never mind that the openers didn't fire, neither did the Mumbai Indians openers, but some of the choices that they made, both when they were bowling and when they were batting, kind of baffling to me. For example, look, if a team is batting first and it's 28 for 2 after 8 overs, you think the fielding side is on top. It should be, right? But that is when they decided to bowl, what's her name? Sri Charni, who had only played one
Yeah,
match before this final, and then she is suddenly into this high pressure final, bowling to Natsiva Brunt, who was the highest run getter in this IPL, and Harmanpreet Kaur, who is always a dangerous batter to go up against.
yeah,
She gets
yeah,
taken. She gets taken two fours and I think two or three singles in that over. 10, 11 runs come off it. Hannibal Sutherland comes in, and what did he do? First ball, bowls a nice gimme ball on Harmanpreet's pads. The one area you know never to bowl on because she loves that flick of the pads.
yeah,
She takes her for a six and a four. Jonathan comes in and goes for three fours. I think they let off the pressure at that point, and after that, it always became. They fought back well. I mean, once they took the wickets of Natsiva Brunt and of Harmanpreet, they started taking wickets in a heap, and that worked for them. But again, if you look at their batting, one of the things that I've been pissed off with DC, frankly, is I don't think they rate their young players all that much, particularly the young Indians. Classic example is Nikki Prasad. If you remember, she was the captain of the under 19 team that won the World Cup.
yeah,
Uh, Nikki Prasad played three innings. She scored a total of 78 runs and has a more than decent strike rate of about 118. Right? Why is she batting paces below somebody like Sajeevan Sajna, who's batted eight times in this WPL, has a total of 51 runs, out of which one innings is 40. So the other seven innings, she's managed to score a total of 11 runs, but she's
yeah,
still batting ahead. Nikki Prasad ends up, not losing a wicket. She was 25 off 23 or something, while wickets were falling all rounder. So I think big match nerves got the better of Delhi Capitals. And I think, I mean, see, when this match started, I was thinking that Mumbai Indians got a very bad schedule. If you have to play four games in 6 days, it's
yeah,
not exactly optimal, but somehow they surmounted that particular hurdle, and then their knowledge of conditions came to the fore. So they knew
yeah,
exactly how to bowl, what kind of areas to bowl, and all that. I thought it was an interesting final. It wasn't a perfect display, but overall, I thought, yeah. In fact, this IPL has been fascinating, not for the things that I thought would happen. I wanted to see
yeah,
some more young talent emerge, and the only name that really caught my eye, barring Nikki Prasad, for instance, who's also an excellent fielder, by the way, was Kashvi Gautam of Gujarat Giants.
yeah, yeah. She was
Excellent,
very impressive.
excellent bowl. Yeah, very impressive. Uh, I mean, I'm not looking at the foreign players, Chanel Henry, people like that, but the other thing that caught my eye is what a legend Elise Perry is. Yeah,
Oof.
I mean, Australia dropped her from T20s, in fact, from white ball cricket, thinking that she was over
Yeah.
the hill. She's reinvented herself and she is now the designated
Second
number
highest run
three.
getter. Yeah.
second highest run getter, and look at her bloody strike rate. Yeah, she's not just eking out the runs. She's got a strike rate of 148.8, which
I think ease with which she crosses the boundary, I mean the sixes,
yeah,
it's unbelievable. It's so easy. It's pure timing, and she's a treat to watch. It's just a treat to watch her. I mean,
yeah,
I think Australia has made a big mistake.
excellent fielder. I mean, in the deep, she's doing far better than players who are much younger than her. So I thought throughout this World Cup, I was looking at what Elise Perry was up to.
Right.
She's totally eye-catching. Yeah,
But it was a bit surprising you mentioned about Delhi's strategy. I mean, they had a legend in Saurav Ganguly sitting there in their dugout who's been there, done
yeah,
all of that. And for him not to be able to suggest these basic things that, you and I can see, it was a bit sad. I think they were just gone the moment Manning was out. I think they just Meg Lanning, they just kind of lost it. I think there was fear in them the moment they happened. You only saw them kind
yeah,
of roaring back when Cap came in and she started hitting those big. They started
yeah,
seeing that they had some hope somewhere. But I think in a sense they gave up. And when Shefali got out for next to nothing, I think that kind of thrown in the towel a bit too early in that game
yeah.
because they were very
I
slow
think
in their recovery.
yeah, they have this issue, right? I mean, two finals failed both times, so that would also
Three
have been
finals, yeah,
preying.
yeah, two finals earlier.
No, I mean, this is
Correct.
the third one.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
two
before this,
finals were
yeah.
failed. That would also have been preying on their minds. But surprisingly, considering the amount of experience they have in their side, these are not newbie players. You have Meg Lanning, Shafali Verma, who's done fairly well. I mean, she's making a strong case for coming back, and then she goes and
Yeah.
flops in the final. I'm still not sure that she is the player that everybody rates her as, but anyway, that's a different thing. They have Jonathan, who's again an excellent batter. They have Jemima Rodriguez, who's again one of those players that I follow because she's so good out there as a fielder, and catch her fielding and catching are amazing. And with the
I think it
bat,
was her innings. Yeah, I think it was her innings that kind of got Delhi back in the game actually.
yeah,
Before Cap started making the big hits, I think it was her little innings there, a little bit of a cameo because she started slow. She was struggling a bit against spin, and then once she got into her groove and she got into that 30, I think it started looking good. They started looking like they
yeah.
could have a chance in the game.
And the nice thing about her, not just that she scores runs, she scores them fast. She's got a
Yeah,
130 odd strike rate constantly. She never is behind the run scoring charts, even if on cases like this where she struggles a bit in the beginning or she comes in at a period where she has to sort of consolidate, she quickly catches up and then she takes off. So
yeah.
I think the only one of the Indian stars who didn't really impress the way she normally would have would be Smriti Mandhana.
Yeah, she's had a very
Oh,
quiet WPL.
yeah. I mean, for all that, I just looking at her performance. She's got 250s somewhere in there. She's been striking at 136. But yeah, 81 197 runs across 8 innings. That's she normally does that in 2 or 3 innings. So I think
Yeah, yeah.
one big reason for the defending champions to go to Smriti not finding her form and yeah, Smriti and also Richa Ghosh to an extent.
Yeah, yeah. They've really not come into their own in this tournament. But one word for the winners, Mumbai Indians. I mean, I was just really blown away with their bowling attack. What a bowling attack they have! Like they're just
Yeah,
coming at you, and just like Rohit was doing in the Champions Trophy, where in the sixth over he just kept getting the spinners in. I think she did the same thing, Harvinder. She got she immediately changed. She got in Haley Matthews. She got Emily Kerr, and she was just like changing the bowling. I think it was brilliant. But she's got like the variety. I think she's got riches in the bowling department. I was just really
I mean,
blown
look,
away with that.
your top
You have
two
Ismail who's there.
wicket takers.
Yeah,
Yeah, top two wicket takers are Mumbai Indians. Amelia Kerr with 18 wickets,
yeah.
Ailey Matthews 18 wickets. You've got
She also
Natsua
had
Brunt.
18 wickets. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, Natsua Brunt has got 12.
And then
So,
you have
I mean,
Shabnim Ismail, who's got 131
yeah.
dot balls in this tournament, like more than
Correct.
anyone else. I mean, she can just
And by the
really
way,
put the brakes on any scoring.
yeah, and Shabnam took 9 wickets as well. So she's again in the top
Yeah.
10 wicket takers list. So, I mean, if you have four of your bowlers in the top 10, that's one hell of a bowling attack. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they really won it on the back of their bowling. I mean, their batting was fantastic, but I think they came through the eliminator. That was on the back of their batting when
Yeah.
Nat Silverbrandt got the 70, and then even Harminder got into the runs. But I think it was the bowling that really saw them through in the final, because towards the end,
Yeah.
8 run margin seemed like it was going to a close finish. I think if Cap would have stayed till the end, it would have been very, very different. It would have been
Yeah.
probably
I think
a last ball
I think
affair.
that was nerve. And Cap and Nikki Prasad had a good partnership, and Cap fell at exactly the wrong time, and then top the wicket started falling. And even before Cap, right? I mean, you had both Sarah Bryce falling cheap. Shikha Pandey
Yeah,
came in, couldn't strike. So yeah, it was a bit. I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced by the composition of the Mumbai Indians side. They seem to have players in sort of odd positions. I mean, not sorry, of the Delhi Capitals team. They have some imbalance, particularly in their batting and
yeah,
their death bowling. Their death bowling is atrocious. Every single time they let teams get away. I mean, after having taken out Harmanpreet, if you're going to give 25, 30 runs, that's a bit.
yeah. There's something wrong with your strategy. You're not choosing the right
Yeah.
bowler to go at the death.
Yeah.
But
Harmanpreet fell when the score was, I think, she fell in the 18th over. The score was 118. And they end up on
yeah, and then
149. I thought they were going to fold.
yeah. And I thought 149 also wasn't that big. I thought that if Delhi Capitals batted through, they would have won it. They batted through the 20 overs, but I think somewhere they just got bogged down. I think the initial fall of wickets just pushed them back. Like I said, it was just like they just
Yeah.
couldn't take off from there. They just couldn't take off from there. But it's
Yeah. They
fantastic
want
to see
one
the
of
way
Meg
women's
Lanning.
cricket is going.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I've been at the IPL and things like that. I follow once in a while. I'll watch half a game or a bit of the highlights or, read some of the reports or something. But WPL is one this thing that I keep watching throughout.
Yeah, it's fascinating to watch, and I just think that the balance is bad. I mean, 5 teams just doesn't make sense. You could have
Yeah.
like 6 teams and then have 3 and 3, or it just five is a bit weird because four semi-finalists, one team out is just very little to choose from. I think it just makes it a bit
Yeah.
imbalanced. The real winner isn't
Yeah, I
really happy
agree.
because out of five, it should be six, and
And
I
the
think
sad
they have
part
enough
is,
talent.
oh, yeah, they can easily make a sixth team. In fact, I mean, I think behind the scenes, some of the franchises have been saying, please expand the WPL. We are willing to invest in stuff
Yeah.
like that. The BCCI, yeah, when it comes to women's cricket, you have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and hopefully at some point something will happen. But high time they did. Yeah, I agree. We have the talent.
Yeah.
Plus, there is the international. Look at the number of players who didn't get picked during the auction, the international players. Some
Yeah. Yeah.
real top names. You could easily make up the international component, and Indian players, you do have the talent there. In fact, the person, the girl, I forget her name. Uh, the one who replaced Shefali Verma as India's preferred opener now, she's not even playing in the WPL.
Really?
She,
Oh,
she never got picked. Yeah.
oh, that's a shocker.
So yeah, I think she, the auctions and all that got done by the time she got a chance to prove what she was made of.
Oh,
And
okay.
so there's no, and also if you look at the under 19 team, a lot of players still haven't made it to the various franchises. So yeah, easily a sixth team, and you're right. The balance of the tournament will be much better.
But overall, about the quality, Prem, you've been following women's cricket for so long. Do you think that from a power perspective, there's more power and more athleticism now come into the sport? Because, the bowling is always, 130, 131 is the fastest that anyone's bowled. But do you reckon that it's gotten stronger. That the players have gotten stronger, and the sixes and the strength and the timing, the power cricket that's there in men's cricket. Is that something that even in proportion, but that's showing in women's cricket now?
It's been showing for some time. If you compare it with men's cricket and look at what guys like, Hardik Pandya, David Miller, people like that do, it's obviously not in the same, you know, not even on the same planet. But if you were following women's cricket from the beginning, or at least going back to 2017, uh, it was very few players who had the power to clear the field or to drive through the field and make those inevitable boundaries. Now you have increasing number of players who are capable of doing that. And it's not just the international players who are showing the ability to hit with power. Even the Indian players have started, really bringing power to the game. I don't think women's cricket is a muscular game, and frankly, I'll feel a bit sad if it becomes, if the Serena Williams type of players from tennis, if you have that analog in cricket. I think one of the charms of women's cricket is there is such grace in their batting, uh, and I
It's
wouldn't
like
want to
tennis. It's
see,
like tennis with the wooden rackets, Prim.
yeah,
No?
tennis with the wooden rackets, tennis during the serve and volley era.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I'd like to see them develop power, and I'm fairly certain the way things are going. Because one of the other things that you notice is that one WPL after another, the number of women's cricketers who are striking at well over 100 is constantly increasing. Now you have
Yeah,
strike rates of
yeah,
150, 160, and I'm not even talking of single innings. I'm talking of players who are scoring lots of runs and
yeah.
also striking at,
The
I mean,
tournament strike
uh,
rate is, yeah, the tournament strike
yeah,
rates are 150, one
look,
forty plus.
Natseva Brunt is striking at 150 plus. Elise Perry is
Yeah,
striking at 140. Shefali Verma is striking at 152. Harmanpreet Kaur is striking at 154. Uh, and I mean, Ashley Gardner, okay, again, foreigner, but 168. So you do have Harleen Deol, for instance, 120 plus. Jemima Rodriguez strikes at about 130. Smriti Mandana normally
yeah.
strikes at a fairly, she was striking at 136, I think, in this tournament. The strike rates are constantly going up. Earlier, it used to be hovering around the 100, mark. Now they're pushing it the high 130s, early 140s, mid 140s, and all of that. So that also is an indication. The number of fours and sixes being hit by, forget
That's gone
about
up.
the
Yeah.
international players. Yeah, that's gone up as well. Uh, so, yeah, all told, all that said, yeah, Natseva Brunt, what a tournament she's had. I was just looking at
Oof.
this 84 fours, 550s in
Yeah.
the tournament. It's insane batting. She just
She's phenomenal.
insane
And
batting.
Prem, have you
Yeah,
seen her? Have you seen her nutmeg shot? The famous nutmeg shot which she
yeah, yeah,
plays, where the ball's a yorker and she's not in the position. She kind of
yeah,
hits the ball and right in between her legs, and the ball
yeah.
actually travels. It's an amazing shot. I've not seen any shot like that even in men's cricket. It's phenomenal,
It's kind,
and she's become
yeah,
really famous for it.
it's kind of like French cricket used to be. No, you tap it between your
Yeah,
legs, all of
yeah,
that. But I mean, Natseva Brunt. One, she's a tournament top scorer with 523 runs and 550s, and she's also in the top 10 wicket takers list. She's number two,
yeah,
actually. I mean,
yeah.
not number two.
In
I
fact,
think she's number five.
she's number five, but I think her wicket, the wicket she took when she got, landing at the start, I think that
Yeah,
was one of the most important. That really started it for Mumbai Indians.
seriously, because the DC game is built around one of two options, right? Either Shefali Verma will blow the bowling apart, or Meg Lanning will come in, settle down, and she'll anchor all the way through the first 10 overs, 12 overs, and everybody will bat around. Neither of them happened this time.
Yeah.
Meg Lanning wasn't allowed to settle in, and Shafali was taken out fast.
Right. But if you
Anyway,
were to come up with
another.
one innovation, and if you were to come up with one innovation in women's cricket, what would it be? What would you want to see that's interesting? That would make the women's game more interesting.
One innovation in women's cricket.
Given that their athleticism has become so good, I mean, I was seeing some of the best catches, the one taken by Jemima and some of the others, they were spectacular, spectacular
Yeah,
catches.
Jemima has had two or three great catches in this tournament. I can't think of. For me, the thing is, I always have this thing of don't fix what isn't broken.
Yeah.
And I think right now, it's more a case of keep developing this talent, keep building that talent base. Uh, like you said, bring in one more team because you need some kind of balance in the
Yeah.
scheduling also. Uh, but all that said, I think it's fine as they are. I don't want people tinkering around with the rules and bringing the boundaries in and doing all of that. Look, the boundaries actually in some of the matches have been more or less equal to what the boundaries are in men's T20. Men's T20
Yeah.
alternates between 58 meters in some areas. I've seen 53-meter boundaries and all that in men's IPL.
Mhm.
Uh, and your big boundaries are 68, 69. The 70-meter boundaries are rare in men's IPL. Women's
It's
IPL is
true. Yeah.
also, I mean, the WPL is also, the boundary sizes are just slightly smaller than the men's, and they're clearing it
Yeah.
with ease. So,
Oh, yes.
so yeah, another good season. And honestly, I one season ends and I'm immediately like, oh shit, 1 year to wait for the next one. Yeah.
Great.
Anyway,
So, moving on. What's next? You had an interesting story to tell. Something you read. Let's discuss
yeah,
that.
I know the Saudi plan, right? The global T20
Yeah.
league. The
Yeah.
the
The
bit
article
that
that
caught
came in
my
the
eye
Age.
is yeah, and the bit that and obviously comes in the age because I think you have a fair idea of who the guy is who's behind this whole thing. Uh, he is an Australian, so yeah. But the whole idea of modeling it on tennis Grand Slams, where you have these, if you have four majors, it's it's a killer idea. I actually like it. Look,
Yeah.
let's face it, cricket is going franchise route anyway.
Yeah.
More and more franchises coming up, more and more, and India, or at least Indian franchises buying into franchises around the world. It's just a matter of time before they start asking for, windows for their respective, at least the bigger global franchises or national franchises, whatever. So if it's going franchise anyway, then why not a Grand Slam? Why not have, about six or eight of the best teams playing
Yeah.
knockouts, uh, and big prize money, big event. And Saudi, interestingly, has also said that they will play in four different locations, which basically means that India can very obviously be one of the locations.
Yeah. Of course.
Somebody like Australia would probably one, and Saudi would probably get two. S- Somewhere
Yeah.
in Saudi
Yeah.
and somewhere in yeah. Uh, so yeah, it's great. It's great for broadcasters will buy in big time. I'm guessing the television rights for that will be humongous. Uh, Saudi has money to burn, so that is not a problem. They are in
Yeah,
this
that's
whole.
the main problem solved for them. That's the main problem solved for them. I think the main
Yeah,
challenge, many have come up with this idea before. I don't know if you remember 10 years ago, SL led by the SL group, Z
correct.
group led by Subhash Chandra. He was coming up with this idea, and the idea was very similar to what we read in the paper today, that
Yeah,
you'd have it in different parts of the world. At that time, they wanted to have, the same way like the Grand Slam. They wanted it in North America, the MENA region, the Middle East, North Africa region, and then they would have it in India, and then they would have it in the Asia Pacific region, and they would have them
right.
across those. So it's very similar to that because I was privy to that. I'd seen a bit of it, and I think the main challenge is that Saudi will not do an ILT20. They're very
No, they
clear. They
won't.
don't want to do one of
Yeah,
these. They don't want to be another T20 league, and the main crux is going to be, will BCCI allow Indian players? Because without that, this is just another league. It's a feast for bookmakers and punters to bet and make some money. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to be a clean game, but I'm saying that anything that is televised, you have the bookmakers and
Yeah,
punters,
absolutely.
coming there. But this one, if it has to be different, it has to be the monopoly of IPL to be broken, and you allow some kind of players. And in that, I think where they are at is possibly that they will not give the contracted players. I think that will really take the monopoly and dilute the whole impact of the IPL. So you have to look at another pool, and I think that's where the whole argument, or I think the whole negotiation will be happening, if at all.
I think there are two areas where negotiations are likely to happen. One area is obviously the players. They need the Indian players. And you're right, Saudi has the money to, you know, let's say persuade the BCCI. Yeah, you keep your contracted players and let us have the rest. There's no dearth of
Exactly.
talent in this country. There are plenty of. How many contracted players do we have between Tests, One Dayers, T20s? I think about 30.
I think it's 30, 30.
Yeah. I mean, look at the
Yeah,
look
it's
at the
30.
talent pool in India. In fact, funnily enough, Mitchell Stark is quoted recently. Remember, he's saying that on the same day, India can field a Test team, an ODI team,
Yeah.
and a T20 team in different parts of the world and still be competitive. That's the depth
We
of
said that
talent you're
here.
talking
We
about.
said that here on Sports and Pastime so many times that
Correct.
we could
Yeah.
have T20 and a T20 team playing together.
Yeah.
But just to look
So
at it,
you.
Prem, I mean, if you look at the IPL, if you look at the IPL auction pool, just the last one,
Mhm.
I think a total of 1,575 or 1,574 players put their names in. And the
Yeah.
IPL at the auction, they really pick only 250, right? Like they retain about 30, 40. So they are there
Correct.
for about 200, 210, which leaves you with another surplus of about 100 and like 1,500 players. And out of them,
Yeah.
the last time there were 1,165 Indians,
Yeah.
409 were the foreigners, but like 1,165. I mean, you can easily have a league. You can have leagues out of those players because you're talking
Absolutely.
really, really good
And
talent.
even if you say that the talent, the quality drops off. I mean, you're not saying that there are 1,000 players in India who are all international level.
No, no, of
Even if you
course.
say, even if you decimate it, even if you say you have 100 players, you've got the
Right.
beginnings of a league, yeah, very comfortably.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But the fact that they
I
want to do a
think the
Grand Slam and have it in four zones, that then you'll need a
Mhm.
bigger pool because, like, what's happening with cricket right now? How Mumbai Indians has got another franchise in the South Africa League, and then they've got
Yeah.
one, elsewhere playing in the BBL and everywhere. So,
The,
you're going to have to look at a
the,
larger pool than 100.
I mean, I was looking at the Mumbai Indians trophy not looking at the Mumbai Indians trophy cabinet, but I was trying to imagine the Mumbai Indians trophy cabinet. Everybody talks about, the five IPL wins, the two WPL wins. They've even won one in the United States, no?
Yeah, yeah, which will be again happening this July.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, they're all over the place, and that is the probably the second point of discussion, whether some of the rich Indian franchises will get to partner with, or how does that work? I mean, Saudi will probably put in money to run the league, to create the facilities, all of that. But will franchises be allowed to bid? Who are these? Let's say 6 to 8 teams that take part in the Grand Slam. All of that is going to come up for discussion because at least the
Yeah.
major Indian franchises will want a hand in this
Absolutely. Prem, make no mistake that the future of cricket in the world is now in the hands of these six, seven franchises who are part of the
completely.
IPL. They are going to run world cricket, women's,
Oh
men's,
yeah,
what have you. They're going to take over because it's a slow process, but they're taking over. The moment they're going to be able to build their own infrastructure or be able to get that on, and I think it's just a slow process, but they're getting there. So they are going to
yeah,
decide. So I think the moment Saudi League will be announced, I mean they'll have the first right of refusal in that sense because without them you
absolutely
can't
agree.
really have the league. You can't have it. You can't have
Yeah,
a Grand Slam of that and you leave out a Mumbai Indians or a RCB. Then you're. But I mean Saudi's done crazier things. I mean you saw the way how they won the entire golf tour.
yeah,
I mean they fought and eventually now it sits in their It's in their lap,
in their
and they're
pocket. Yeah,
doing that with every.
absolutely.
Yeah. One of the biggest prize
Yeah,
monies
but
in
I
F1
think,
is now with them.
see, one of the things that differs from the Saudi model that they've been following so far is the captive fan base. And Indians, I mean, if you have a Grand Slam without Indian players, the Indian audience part of it will watch. But if you want that entire massive fan base, and the Saudis would want it, I think they'll work with the BCCI and with the franchises rather than against it.
Absolutely,
Uh,
yeah.
so, so yeah, it will probably be at least I can, if it's an 8 team league, I can think of at least five Indian franchises that will be part of it for sure.
Easily. And there'll be no dearth of broadcasters because you saw who all lost out on the recent
Yeah,
IPL and the India rights. So
exactly.
you've got a Facebook waiting there. You've got the big giants, the tech giants are waiting to
Yeah,
take over. I mean, Amazon, Netflix are all falling back on sport, and I was just reading in the Wall Street Journal yesterday. Netflix and Amazon are now approaching YouTube influencers. They're going after
yeah,
YouTubers and saying, "You make this show, you decide what your audiences want to watch, and we'll bankroll it." So, it's a very simple game. The money is not a problem. I mean, the broadcaster is not a problem. Saudi will, bankroll it at the start. You've got the franchises who'll be waiting to go in, and you're getting the entire broadcast of the world. The Grand Slam idea
yeah,
is just that.
yeah,
You're not looking just
yeah,
at India because that's already sitting with India. India already takes
yeah.
the biggest chunk of that. But you've got North America, which is big. You've got Africa, Europe, big, big, big markets for broadcasters.
Absolutely. And unlike all the other national franchises, yeah, India has its own captive audience, so it doesn't have a problem. But whether you take the PSL or the Bangladesh league or South Africa's league or whatever, these audiences are confined to those respective countries. Like you said, you don't have a global uh, something that attracts eyeballs around the world. IPL is probably the one that comes closest.
Yes.
Uh, to an extent, the BBL, but the rest of it is kind of neither here nor there. Maybe in number three position would be the 100. If I was, I mean, what I watch falls in these categories, right? I watch the
Yeah.
IPL uh, to the extent that I watch it. I watch BBL to the extent that I possibly can, among all my other, what do you call it, my preoccupations. And if there is time, I'll watch some of the highlights of the 100.
Yeah,
Beyond
but
that,
Prem, watch out
yeah,
for the South Africa. The South Africa T20 is a very, very well done league, and it's got the cricketers. They've taken the buy-in from the cricketers. Graham Smith leads it, and then
yeah,
you've got the former IPL CEO Sundar Raman, who's the real brain behind it. It's an amazing, and it's got great potential. I think it might give the 100 a scare. Though 100 is, it's got more money, but the South Africa T20 League is doing well. The first season that they ran was really good quality cricket,
yeah.
and they ran
It
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 really,
was
really well.
excellent. Yeah. Yeah, I've been hearing good things about that. I missed that entire league. Most of the time I was traveling on these reporting things and stuff, so uh,
Right.
I lost out on that. But I've been, I mean, I mentally flagged it saying, okay, I have to follow this because something is happening over there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
In fact, I think the
man,
interesting part will be that, yeah, the interesting part is that you'll finally probably get to see Pakistani players in a league where everyone is playing, and that will
oh
complete a
yeah,
league because that's something that's not happening currently. And I miss that because, irrespective of the team as a whole, Pakistan cricket is struggling. As you saw, this
yeah,
morning, 92 all out against New Zealand. It was really sad. It was really sad the way they played. But it's a young side.
it was
But I think
sad, but
individual players, yeah, you want to see a Naseem, you want to see
yeah,
Agha, you want to see those players play at the individual level
yeah.
in T20.
I thought the only highlight of that Pakistan innings was what happened afterwards when the captain said we were 120 runs short. I was like, no shit, man.
I saw a meme this morning that said that it's unfair because we had to travel 132,000 miles and New Zealand
Yeah,
had to travel 0 miles, so they had the advantage. That's why we lost the game. I thought that was
yeah. Now this
hilarious.
is going to Yeah, now this is going to become a thing, but no, I agree. I mean, if this is a Saudi funded league, obviously the Pakistani players will not be excluded from that. So
No,
you
they
have
have to
that,
play.
and like you said, yeah, it completes a league in the sense that you will then have players from pretty much all the major nations playing.
Right. So it seems like it'll be finally a proper league that has all the world's best players coming together.
So I'll tell you what. Before the next episode, I'll leave you with a question. Think about it, and we'll talk more about that in the next episode. The question is simply this: if franchise cricket is a future of cricket, you can't accommodate franchise cricket, bilateral T20s, bilateral ODIs, bilateral tests, ICC tournaments in all three formats, and franchise cricket growing at this rate into a
Yeah.
12-month calendar, right? What are you going to drop?
I think the bilateral one dayers have to go away. They really have to go away. And I think even the T20 bilaterals have to go away. I think it's time to go back to those lovely 90s when you had triangulars and quadrangulars and you had the Australasia Cup and four teams playing, three teams playing. It just had another zing to it. I think it's become so boring to just see, like what we saw recently, a really bad washed out England team getting bashed every second day by an Indian team. It just took the whole fun out of it. It's just that India's playing, so it's exciting. But other than that, those bilaterals really have to go away, Prem.
So you want a triangular where England gets bashed by two teams? But
Yeah, I don't mind that. At least you'll see some quality cricket and the other two teams play. You'll at least get
okay.
two good games.
No, but I'll tell you the reason why I put that question, and maybe it's an exercise you can try as well. Just for fun, I took a calendar and I tried to
Okay.
create a calendar that gives space for franchise cricket and not just IPL, for franchise cricket in general, and also for all of these things. And I'm damned if I could figure out a way. Just try it and see. It's
Yeah,
great fun. It's like
I
playing,
will.
those jigsaw puzzles. It's just insane. But
And you've left out the senior cricket. What just happened when we saw
yeah,
Sachin, we got to see Sachin bat again. That was
yeah,
phenomenal. The crowds were there.
yeah,
I think they must have got decent TV ratings. As you see Brian Lara, you see Sachin Tendulkar. I think it was a feast. So that's another segment you've forgotten to add into that calendar there. I'll put
yeah,
that in the exercise sheet. We have to accommodate those
yeah.
two.
At least one thing is with senior cricket, it can coexist or be played at pretty much the same time
Yeah.
as the other thing, and that's fine. People will watch that. People will watch a bit of this. All of that works. But just regular international cricket, I'm trying to figure out. You know where this is going, and you know that. I mean, we've been talking about this for quite some time. We've been saying this is going in the direction of franchise cricket, but I think what is now going to happen over the next 2, 3 years is this trend towards franchise cricket is going to accelerate. And when
Yes.
that
Yes.
happens, yeah, there's a lot of fun and games coming up for international cricket.
Absolutely, Prem. And next week also we have to talk about the IPL because
Oh
that's
yeah,
knocking. It's a week away. So let's start by looking at the four teams that made it to the playoffs and then the other contenders to the throne. But looks like a very, very exciting IPL this time. I can't wait to see Head and Abhishek take on the bowlers. They'll be batting together.
yeah,
I am really waiting to see that happen. So until
yeah.
next time, Prem.
Take care. And yeah, you guys are in the middle of Ramzan, right? So
Yeah.
all the best for that.
Okay.
When is
Thanks.
uh, when is Eid, by the way?
I think should be end of the month. Should be 30th. I think 30th.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll
29th or
meet before
30th.
that. Right.
Cool.
Take care.
We will.
And
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Bye.
bye.
Hit a long way. Out on the run is Liriano.